Sport Reports. My name is Jason Schultz. Welcome to Countdown to Pull Time. We're going to do this before every Grand National Hook that FullPull.live produces and puts a stream out for all you fans. And we're going to do it 90 minutes before. So tonight we start at 7 o'clock Eastern. I'm joined by Greg Randall, Executive Director of the NTPA, and my host tonight as well with you on the live stream. Every live stream that you watch with FullPull.live is going to have 3 announcers, 2 in the trailer, 1 on the track side. Tonight, Phil Kelly and myself will be in the trailer giving you commentary. Bert Forbes will be our trackside announcer. So when something does happen on the track, we're going to send Bert out there with one of our roaming cameras to make it happen. We're excited to launch FullPull.live to take truck and tractor pulling to the next level. It's time to bring a high-quality TV broadcast for all you fans out there. The sport deserves it. I'm super excited to be part of it. And it's free tonight. And we're doing that because it's a great way to roll it off. Our monthly subscription is $39.99. That will start June 1st. So please, if you're watching this right now, tell your friends. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on FullPull.live. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your coworkers if they cannot be in Benson, North Carolina. Listen, it's always better to be here, Greg. It's always better to be here.
Always better.
But if you can't be here, there's family, there's friends. We're so busy. There's so many things going on. To have a great app like FullPull to go check it out. You can find us on Roku, all the TV apps to do all of that. So it's free tonight. So tell your friends, tell your family. All you got to do is go to FullPull.live, scroll down. It says I think it says GALOT Season 1 or Friday Night Pass free, and then just click on that, put your email address. Phil Kelly even did it, and he said it took him just like 30 seconds.
It was an email address. It told me to click it, send a link straight to my email.
PK, you're my hero.
Sometimes I can get past that technical side.
So excited! We're excited to be here again. We got the beautiful track behind us here in Benson, North Carolina, and it's. I'm excited to start off the Grand National Truck and Tractor Pulling season. Greg Randall, again, Executive Director of the NTPA. Greg, how many years have you blessed us with the NTPA now? How many years have you been involved?
I started May 7th of 1990.
That's pretty specific. I just
4 decades. Actually, it just kind of popped up here. Just on Facebook, it says you graduated from Urbana University on May 6, 1990, and then it made me think, oh, May 7th, I was here. I don't count the 4.5 years I left to work for my uncle because I also then became a promoter, so I got to be on the other side of that desk, which helped me when I came back to know that side, have some money, skin in the game, as it were. So that was very helpful.
I love it. People already rolling in here.
Yeah.
This weather. This is my first trip to Benson. Phil, PK, is this your first?
No. Super Farm used to be one of the classes here that participated, so I was down here quite often as I
with the red-blooded binder?
Yeah, chased that the regional points down here with a lot of the Super Farm farmers, the Super Farm tractor class. Just as classes change, as events change. I haven't been down here actually since prior to COVID.
Okay, Bert, have you been to Benson before to the Bulls?
Many times.
Okay.
I mean, I've come. I think I've missed 1 year, and if I didn't have to work, I'd have been here. I mean, this is a great facility. You got grandstands where you can see both tracks clearly. They're high up in the air. You're going to see some of the biggest. You're going to see the biggest pull in North Carolina right here this weekend. I think we got over 100 vehicles.
Yep.
And everything. If you like diesels, we got some in your Super Stock Open class.
Yeah, I saw that. Kent Payne and Balance is in here, jumping in with the Alkies.
So in saying what Bert was getting to, we noticed in the class lineups when we did the reveals here just the other night on a Wednesday night, which we'll do regularly.
Yeah, it's going to be the weigh-in show every
up.
Wednesday night at 6:30 Central.
The size of the classes and the level of competition, and as I walked and we did some research and Bert did his sit-down interviews and B-rolls and things, the level of competition of what has come here this year is more than we've seen in years past and prior seasons to this one with NTPA as a Grand National Tour.
Yes.
What would you attribute to that?
I think there's a few things attributed to it. One is, I think, just some of our sponsorship money coming into the sport. Our payout this year is $120,000 more than it was the year before, which was like 60-some thousand more than the year before. So that part's helping. This whole process of getting people entered online prior to the a lot of times people say, man, Chapel Hill, Tennessee, the Enderley pull-off, man, that has run so smoothly. Why is that? I think the biggest secret is we know who's coming. We have it figured out a few days in advance. We're not having the guys pull in at 3 hours before showtime to get tech and so forth. And so I think just we're upping that level. We're more resources, just like this opportunity that came forth, the board picked up and approved. These are the type of things that are moving it in an exciting direction.
I saw growth on your sponsorship side, I think, in the tune to like $114,000, which will be dispersed throughout points funds throughout the year and at the end of the season points fund, winning purses and points funds throughout the end of the season. did your sponsorship sales side grow in that department?
Yeah, it has. We've got some multi-year contracts in place with Case IH O'Reilly, and we did that with Hot Shot Secret this year, and we've had kind of a blueprint, and we finally separated some things off of my table a little bit and got Dan Schrader involved, and Dan's done a great job. And we literally went to the whiteboard, and I said, this and this and this is how this looks, this is how this looks, and he's just gone out and executed. It's been fantastic.
He's been great to work with. I work with him on the social media side of the NTPA as well, and he's always involved, him and Morgan, and it's been fun to really grow that side of the NTPA brand as well through social media the last couple of years. So
right.
It's been fun.
You go back to the early days. We had U.S. Tobacco, Chevrolet, Kendall Oil. We had Enderley Fuel Injection, who'd just kind of been in for a few years with the Enderley Pull-Off. I mean, we had some pretty good sponsorship dollars then, and we know what it looks like. It's just a matter of having all the players and pieces to make it fulfill, and we're to that point again.
Well, you can't do it all, Greg. And
no, I don't want to do it all.
And I think what you said in the past, that's something like during COVID, it got so lean for
you.
I mean, and then that was such an uncertain time. And then coming out of that, I mean, we're still seeing it on the supplier side of it. I mean, we still have pullers waiting for parts. I mean, if you want a crankshaft right now, PK, it's 8 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got friends who are in search. But in saying that, you went back to the history of it, and this is called the Mule City 300.
Mule City 300.
My vague understanding of why is there was a...
It's a donkey. It's a donkey.
Well, yeah, that's
what a mule is.
It's a
donkey.
It's a donkey.
Now, mule people would be frustrated at you because the mule is the hybrid of a horse and a
stop.
donkey.
Stop. What are mule people?
So, I'm embarrassed to say we own a ton of mules. My family breeds them, hosts them, and actually competes.
Admitting it is the first step in the process.
They compete with them, absolutely.
Hey, for everybody watching home, you want a mule or a donkey? Go see my buddy PK.
Let's circle back on track. The Mule City 300, my understanding, got the name from was a feed mill in town called. Does anybody recognize the history in it? I vaguely knew, and I really wanted to find out.
Well, I think that's something we need to find out.
Yeah, I think Earl Wells would be able to. So Earl Wells, who owns the complex here in the GALOT Motorsports Park, you can log in online and find the address, find the name. They do drag racing all year long, but they also have the truck and tractor pulling
it's like a drag
this
strip
weekend.
lane, 555 drag strip lane.
If you come in the top side, they've got 2 entrances.
Yeah,
so traffic's not an issue. I'm not a traffic kind of friendly guy. So traffic's not an issue. 2 entrances, 1 on each side. Plenty of seating, reserved seating available as well.
Yeah.
Mule City 300. Do you remember how this plan came together? Because when we first came here, I think it might have been at the first event or the second event.
It was the same weekend as Chapel Hill in 2014.
Yeah, it was.
Because I actually cheated and went back to my file because I do all the event contracts and budgets and everything. And so we were here in 14, same weekend as Chapel Hill, and they had Superstock Open and a Light Unlimited it was at the time. And then they had several regional classes peppered in. Mm-hmm. And then the next year he wanted to go earlier. He wanted to take on more Grand National classes, and we did it. And I'm thinking the second year was when he erected all these bleachers.
Right.
Funny story there. We had an event mid-May in Pine Tops, actually where I met my wife and was married in Pine Tops. But anyway, we
got married in Pine Tops, North Carolina.
I did, yeah.
On the single alley that is the dirt track.
Yes. That is. Let's see. That's a school. There's a school.
309 School Street.
School
I live
Street,
a half a mile from there. So
there
I
you
know.
go. Yeah. So anyway, I came for that event and I had a couple of them say, "You need to go to the GALOT Motorsports Park. That project is not maybe where it needs to be with the bleachers." And I came over and there was a big crew working on them. I was like, if I didn't know who was involved with this Earl Wells, I'd be a little concerned. But I know what Earl did for a living and how he does things. I said, I'm not concerned, and he had it all ready to go, And so I think that 15 was the first year for the bleachers, and the first time we were here in the latter part of May.
Yep.
We might have been Memorial Day.
We did one year Memorial Day.
And then the beach wins over Memorial Day, so we backed it up a weekend.
He actually had a state event the year before that y'all came in. So he did a state event, the local organization here, United Pullers of the Carolinas. They did a state event just to see. I think they wanted to do it just to kind of figure out the logistics of where everything needed to be and kind of how they wanted to lay it out.
Sure.
So, I mean, he started out there, and you see what it's grown to now. I mean,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's first class.
Yeah. So we're here for 2 nights. They're working the track. They worked it last night. They worked it all week.
Live track prep.
Yeah,
that.
like
That's
rolling
only,
right by.
only the best at
I
full
literally
pulled
did
out live.
the sound deflection, subtle sound deflection thing as it went by.
At least it was a Case IH tractor.
Absolutely.
Because if it would have been a John Deere, old Randall would have jumped 30 feet in the air.
We're 5:41 p.m. We're just before showtime. If you're watching now, you're tuning in. You still time to buy tickets, show up on site, front and rear,
Seeing
well
people
as
coming already just makes me so happy.
reach out to the live stream. If you can't participate and come and be a part of it, purchase the live
Full
stream.
pulled out live.
And if you want to come here, just go to galotmotorsports.com. All the information about the dragway is here. You can look it up, figure out how to get here, and tickets.
It's $25, 40 for the weekend.
Correct. Yep.
Kids 10 and under free, no coolers. All the questions I see on Facebook, I'm trying to answer them all at once. They have concessions. They got a bunch of great vendors. Hey, I would love it if Greg and Phil could kind of dive into the lineups a little bit.
Sure.
And just kind of go through that if you want to go with Class 1 and just kind of talk about them. And I like to predict some winners a little bit. Randall, we're not going to make you do that because you work for these guys. But
there's a better reason why I should not say anything about that, because I'm actually training a guy with a laser tonight. So the first guy knows the distance will be me. So, but I did it from 1990, so that's a whole other story.
Okay.
We got 4 units that's being tested out on a separate deal. We're just, because we're going out to other events to do stuff on the regional side, so we're just making sure that's ready, but I'm doing all the heavy lifting.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're looking at the right side track, which is to our right. If you're facing us, watching at home.
If you're the driver, right? Sitting on it?
Yeah, it'll be the west side track.
Yep. Look at you.
Sunsetting.
I saw what you did there. Never eat shredded wheat.
Yep. Light mods.
Yeah.
Light mods lead off the show, and we're looking at 13 of them. A couple new builds.
Yep. 11 as we
Oh, I'm sorry.
finished. You're
I have
fine.
mine.
You're
Is
fine.
mine is. Yeah.
So what I understand what happened with Brent Payne's new one is with that bridge that collapsed in Baltimore.
Yes.
That screwed all the.
It's on a train, right?
It's on
all the
I heard
traffic.
It's somewhere in Baltimore Harbor is what and I don't know if that's what I heard today. So
You know what? If Greg Randall says it, it's a gospel.
it maybe is. I don't know. But anyway, that's why that tractor's not here. So yeah, I mean, I want to ask Bill Voorhees. He's in the NTPA Hall of Fame. What drives a guy to come back? He's come back more times than Muhammad Ali.
I'm going to retire.
I'm coming back.
I got more in me.
Yeah, and I'm sure he does.
Kind of like the Raiders.
Yeah, the Raiders. I thought we were talking tractor pulling.
I knew where that was going. I knew exactly where that was going on that one.
So light mods, right side track, west side track. Following them is the four-wheel drive.
Phil, if you don't mind, buzz down the list quick of the 11 competitors.
I wasn't sure where we wanted to take it off.
Yeah, if you don't mind, we got time.
Brian Dickelman from Millbury, Ohio, in the Ohio Express Jr. Doug Theobald in Full-Blown Wicked. Randy Davis, Running Bear. Terry Feiss from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, in the Feisty Farmall. R.J. Simon from Farley. Next week's event,
June 7th and 8th, 300 Raceway.
Running Simon Says. Bill Voorhees, just like we mentioned, the American Thunder, big fan favorite. Wayne Sullivan, the Kentuckian, which I think is a new build as well this season.
They took 3. They went down to 2.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
not exactly a new
it's got
build,
a new
but
look.
new
It's sharp.
setup.
They did a good job on their social media this week.
Todd has some new parts in the Snow Farmer.
Yep.
I think that it's fun sometimes to watch that tit for tat when you get two family members going against each other, which sort of think you're getting similar parts, but
Yeah, somebody
not
said
quite
they
sure.
thought Todd had better parts.
I said.
So I think, because we're going to joke about that tonight, like who's going to sleep on the couch kind of a thing. So,
They literally got the right motor on that, or the left motor on that tractor back together 2 days ago.
Yeah, we spoke
Yeah,
this morning. Yeah.
it ain't pulling if you're not waiting.
No,
till
I mean, you got to wait till midnight before you decide you're going to come.
Well,
to
they
the
went for
tractor
the warm up to put it on the trailer and apparently diagnosed a clatter.
Oh
Yeah.
man,
That what was the matter?
that's not good.
And then they dove in.
You know who has better parts, better prices? O'Reilly's.
You're right.
Are they a sponsor of the NTPA?
They must have
Yeah.
snuck.
As a matter of fact, they are. Yes.
Must have snuck through
Weird
there.
that he would do that. So.
Shout out to Kendall.
But following Tice is Jason McKenzie in the Never Satisfied. Austin Berry follows him in the 10th position on International Salvation. Then Les Corporal's in the Corporal Punishment in the 11th position for the night.
That's my winner.
Yeah?
Just Corporal's smart. He got that thing figured out. I saw him make a rocket pass last year in Rockwell, you guys, and it was just stupid.
So
So one to look out for is going to be Randy Davis. He's run that tractor in the mod class, the 7500, but he's never run it in the light mod class. So he's going to have a whole new setup as far as that being 6200
weight and balance, tires,
the whole shebang. So that's
And they
gonna
get
be,
2 cracks at it. Are you
Yeah.
going to switch tracks, Greg, or does that kind of determine how do you do that as
They're going
tomorrow's
to
lineup.
figure out tonight
what works better?
Yeah.
Because last night I was talking to Chad Mackey, the track builder, and he said these tracks are 2 different animals.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. So
Like for instance, you'll never see Unlimiteds on the not on the hillside of Fort Recovery
okay.
because there's a big hitch on the other side, and they had some pretty rough rides and stuff. And again, that's the safety thing,
Greg, can you grab the other first class?
You want to jump over to the?
You want me to go over the four-wheel drive?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is good. RJ Simon will knock it off first with the Simon Says.
Is Simon in every class? Do they have something in every class? Light mod, pro stock? No, four-wheel drive, yes. Not a mini.
Three.
Not a mini.
Three of them.
Right.
No,
Not bad.
not bad.
Oh.
Not bad.
Not bad, yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work to me.
You got Larry Peterson and Profab geared up. The one truck, I don't know if we're going to see it this year or not. Bunky Davis out of Tappahannock, Virginia, seldom seen, followed up by a fellow Tappahannockite. Peyton Davis, the Punisher. Danny Johnson, the Desperado out of Georgia. Ben Ellis Jr., Benjamin Man. Rob Foster, Foster Child. Mark T. Mangan, the Outlaw. Bill Kramer, the Contender. Ike Zaring, Bucket List. Tommy Corsa, TaylorMade. Jordan Eady, another Tappahannock resident. Just Rutten. Jimmy Morantz 2, Unleashed. Mick Broughton, Shock Treatment. Mark T. Mangan on the Bounty Hunter. Jim Holman in the 4-play. Scott Phillips returning.
Yes.
Once again.
12 years.
Yes.
Yeah,
And he's got 200 feet of garden hose that he carries around. He always had garden hose for any competitor that needed them for their hauler to get water on.
That's another story.
That's
Randall.
another story. But it's literally a garden hose.
Did he see a squirrel?
That's a great tidbit of information. It just is.
If
You're
you
like
need garden hose, Scott Phelps has 200 feet of garden. Ron Johnson, the Mistress, Jake Kramer, Supernatural, Kevin Schools, Farmer's Daughter, and then Jake Zaring to finish up with Rule 19.
And so what I noticed in that list, there's a few regional guys jumping in,
Right.
which is
That's what we see a lot, though. I think when a Grand
NTPA
National comes
works.
to your area.
Yeah, you jump in, you want to know where you size up, you want to know where you line up, and if you got enough, right?
Well, not only that, one of the things you got to look at for too is they know these tracks down here. So when they come here, especially on Friday night, that gives them an advantage of a shot to be up in the top 5 because they know how to tracks read and know how to run them. So pay attention to those local guys. Those are the ones, the big guys, they got to watch out for, especially on Friday night.
In Region 4, I think it's the biggest advantage in this class
Yes.
of any place in the country. Like we'll have 4-wheel drives in Iowa next week with a track and the dirt's
Completely different.
It's completely different, but it's more what you see in Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Then you come down here, it's you don't know.
I would say the same thing. When I brought the Super Farm down, Grand National guys would come and hook in a regional class early in the season, and I would look at them and size them up. But the guys who I paid attention to were the McDonald family and the other guys,
Chris
the
Hales
pay,
and,
Dirt Pays,
Yeah.
Pay Dirt, and those guys. Like I was paying attention to what the locals were doing, so I could learn because I didn't have the time and effort into these tracks down here. So it's awesome to see some of the regional guys come in and get to fly their colors.
Definitely. Yep.
So the third class on the right track, guys?
Yep.
Would take that, Phil?
We're jumping into the Superstock Open class, and it's Cody Cheezick's going to line up the class.
That's our NTPA Rookie of the Year, I believe.
It is considered armed and dangerous.
Yep.
And
17 years old, I think. 16 or 17.
I didn't know his age. We chatted a little bit earlier. He's quiet. I don't know him. It's hard to evoke him, to poke him a little bit, to get him to laugh and stuff like that, right? He's pretty reserved. Jeff Hodem in the fully loaded, so it's neat to see Jeff jump on board. Scott Whitworth in the field forged. Zane Daly in the Ruttenbuck 2. John Belafonte with the chain breaker.
Diesel.
Yeah. I saw you chatting them up over there.
Diesel Supers.
I saw you chatting them up. Aaron Holland taking care of business. Brian Diekman and the original judge. Kent Payne, the Super Rooster.
Diesel.
Last year's champ.
Grand National Champion.
Yep. Robert Gensmer with the Rutten Deer. Terry Blackburn, extremely armed and dangerous.
Legend.
Yeah. John Strickland, GALOT 2. And GALOT
Home track.
Yeah, right. Like you're talking about knowing the surface and knowing the setups, right? Neil Gettinger, lessons learned. Brett Brockhouse out of time, and then Andy Dutton was a scratch in the junk wagon.
There's
So-
here.
so-
I thought it's here.
So
What
what
occurred?
I saw it.
happened? The bell housing. He had to get a new bell housing to get under the new
Yep.
rules.
Yes, the new rule with the bell
so
housing.
what happened? His new bell housing was like 3/8 of an inch.
Too long.
Too
Longer
long.
than his old one.
So his input shaft would not go all the way in. And you think about it, if you're turning 1,000 horsepower and you got a few splines on there, you're thinking I can probably get, but that thing's turning what 4.
Yeah.
I mean, so why?
You're like,
no.
I'll stay on the better side of
that's-
safe. But you thought you saw it here because I
Yeah.
thought he.
I thought I
he
saw it here.
scratched.
No, he was.
Okay.
It must have been.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's pretty, I bet it was out of time then that I saw.
Gotcha.
Hull's tractor looks like it.
So we jump over into the East track, and the East track we've just noted was a different animal.
Yeah, that's what
It is.
Chad Mackey said. He's been building this track since 18 or 19, and he's well known for building tracks out east for all the associations. And he said that they're just two different beasts. We got here about 10:30 last night, Phil, and they were just dumping water into this thing. He said It's a different surface. It's got some sand in it, but it will take water, and that's why they just pound it too. It looks dry on top right now, but I think once they dig down.
Right now they've put about 30,000 gallons of water in it, and what they're going to do up until probably about 30 minutes to showtime is they're going to come back with the water truck and just put a little mist on top to keep the dust down on top of it.
Just like a golf course would. You're just misting it in the morning.
Yep.
How far do you hit your 9-iron?
I don't hit a 9-iron.
You don't?
But I can drink 6 and 9.
So you're one of them guys.
I
don't golf to golf. I drink to golf first.
I tend to be a good time to be around some days. But so we're looking at that far side track.
Yep.
We can see actually from here, the guys are already walking, pacing. You're seeing it live. You're watching it live. You can join us. You can buy tickets. Come if you're just watching, or if you're literally.
If you didn't know anything about this tonight, yeah.
Dual screening, and you're sitting with your passenger in the passenger seat, watching what we're doing, and you're on your way in. Come in. There's plenty of things. The vendors are open. The foods are open. There's plenty of T-shirts, hats, towels, and open pit area.
That's cool.
All paved.
All paved. That is so cool. Walking
And
around
what's
like
neat
that.
to see at the beginning of a season, everybody is shined to the nines.
Yeah,
That's
they
right.
are.
Like wheels are polished, headers are polished.
I feel like I saw more pullers here on the night before than I normally do. Like probably because of the distance to travel. A lot of these guys. This is the farthest east the NPA Grand National goes. And it's a hike for the guys in the Midwest, but now they know how everybody else feels the rest of the year.
They're going their direction. I flew in this morning when we came down the lane. I was like, there's a lot of guys here already.
Yeah.
I figured they'd be hustling in mid-afternoon because you can sign up online now. That's how we do our weigh-in Wednesday show. We know the lineups. They're printed. They're showed up. They're locked in.
That's
There's
fun.
a scratch possible. NTPA is doing the right thing of, he scratches and maybe he uses his input or his costs, whatever the hook fee would be, rolls over to the next event. Simple system.
Yeah, there's actually a refund button on the back side of it. We had somebody drop, and Scott Phillips got in a free entry program, and all we had to do was hit a radio button, and within 24 hours, the money was back on the credit card. So that part is really nice. You don't have to wait for the settlement to come back, and then us try a check and all that. It's
So
one less thing you have to do.
The modernization of sign-up process is also buying tickets, is also buying into the live stream.
Right.
I think we're going to a next tier of trying to gain exposure, gain notoriety, and put it back where, us puller fans feel like it should be. We just somehow weren't getting noticed.
Listen, you have the 100. I'm sorry, Bert. You go ahead.
And it's all about making the experience easier, not only for the fans if they can't be here, but the other part is sign up and registration. Because as a puller, if you're driving down the road, you have a blowout or you have some kind of issue. Used to you had to make a phone call, and then you still had to do all the other paperwork when you got here and all that. Now you've got it set up where you can do it online. It's set up so if you're running a little bit behind, you can get here and not feel so stressed to go to the trailer and do all the paperwork and get everything started. Because
it felt like you were sending a guy from your crew, but you wanted that guy to help get you off the trailer.
Exactly.
And then you wanted the other guy to spot, and you're like, just go get us signed in. Take the checkbook.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't care where we're at. Just go. Sign my name.
That was really cool to see Cody Cheezick last year and get the Rookie of the Year. So I've known, that family for quite a while. And Blackburn,
Josh
Blackburn. So he'd have that swoop in the middle, and I would tell Cody, I said, "Hey, got your shark on," like that, and he's like, "Greg, you're killing me, and I said, "That's going to be you one day," and I probably said that for like the last 6 or 7 years, and finally last year he got here, and I was like, "Remember all the years I said you're going to be there one day?" I said, "How does it feel?" He's like, "Oh wow, this is real."
It is awesome.
Yeah.
Again, if you're just joining us, this is Countdown to Pull Time. We're going to do this before every Grand National event on FullPull.live. You're watching us now either on YouTube or Facebook or FullPull.live. And again, the live stream is free tonight. It's the only time it's ever going to be free. Head over, get your ticket, tell your friends, tell your family, get it out there on social media. We'd love to have you here, but if you can't get to Benson, North Carolina, we're going to finish off the East Side track here in a little bit. We've got about 10 minutes left in our show, joined by Greg Randall, Executive Director of the NTPA, Bert Forbes, Phil Kelly. We're going to be your announcers for FullPull.live. You're going to see some similar faces on FullPull.live, and some are going to move around a little bit, but we're always going to give you 3 announcers. I think it's going to be fun. Chase is really adamant about that, about having 2 people in the trailer and having that. He wanted that NFL experience, and you're going to see some driver interviews. Bert's going to grab some people, and unfortunately, stuff does happen on the track, and we're going to get Bert out there with our mobile camera, Scott, and we're going to figure it all out. So let's head over to that east track or that left track, and let's run through it. Is it minis first?
It's a light super stock is what I've got.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, you have the list, Greg, so it's official.
We're not going to tell you no.
I was thinking mini was second class, but anyway, how these are here in this, it is second class, isn't it? This is lineup 1, so this must be the first on the left.
Yep.
Larry Phillips with Extremely Insane out of Vine Grove, Kentucky, followed by Brian Schrammick out of Williamsburg, Missouri with Red, Zach Linville with the Ridge Runner, Rex Kuhn with Letterbuck, Daniel Northcutt with On the Edge, Terry Blackburn with Considered Armed and Dangerous, Adam Spiegelberg with Detonator Black, Colton Whitworth out of Worthington, Missouri, Yield Express, Craig Smith out of Pike, New York with Whiskey's Fine,
Enderley winner.
Brandon Phillips, Vine Grove, Kentucky with his John Deere, Philip Lords out of Woodbury, Tennessee on Over the Edge, Brent Payne with the new Light Superstock. Brand new. Cody Cheezick, aforementioned, on the Armed and Dangerous Excessive Force. Marcus Weddleson with Gunpowder and Lead. And last but not least, Colton Whitworth with the Bin Buster.
What a class of light
So we're
supers.
talking about
A lot of color.
15 light supers, right?
Yeah,
That's going to be awesome.
That's really good.
Just the build for that class and the entertainment value that 6,200 pounds brings with that much power is quite the hiccup in the giddy-up. And no one wants to say they want to watch a wreck or see that explosion, but that is part of the entertainment of the sport.
Right.
But to watch someone be able to drive out with that much power, and I call it a chine walk, where you sometimes see boats do it, where they're grabbing tire to tire to tire, and then walk out of that chine walk, and it sort of bears down and then drives off. You're like, oh, yeah.
You wait for that shimmy, and then when she squats, you just that's when you lay it on.
Like the entertainment value in that class is,
That's like the mini
is high
rods.
to me.
Well, and
for the
that's
tractors, that's a high.
Yeah. And
And
as a
that's what
kid, in the 70s, going to the Ohio State Fair, which was one of the biggest events in the country, it started at 8 a.m., and that class I always like to see because I was like, man, there's Olivers, and then there's, ACs, and then all these different combinations.
Good combination manufacturers.
And that has maintained itself in this class. It really has. And that's the, I think, one of the beauty. That really stuck to its roots as far as the brand, the different folks in that.
Yep. So let's buzz through these last two classes and let's wrap our show up here, and then we're going to go get ready for our live stream. So
We're hitting the minis.
yeah,
Minis. 19 minis.
Man, that track's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Light supers, then minis. Woo.
Kevin Campbell pulls the first card on Wild Card. Adam Bauer second in the Iron Toy. Holt Strickland in the Just Ask. Chase Richardson in the Vibrator. Ron Tobin in Walk the Line. Then comes Jeff Hurt sixth out of Port Clinton, Ohio, in the Carolina Night Train. Brian Guza, Grandpa's Disaster. Renee Theobald's in the Pretty Wicked. Lindsey Campbell comes up as the partner team to Kevin Campbell, who's pulling first. She's coming out ninth. In Short Fused, Brian McDonald, Very Little Sanity. Adam Coaster in the Beast of Burden. Cody Singletary in the Carolina Night Train 2. CJ, I can't pronounce CJ's last name.
Kresick.
Thanks. CJ Kresick in the Pile Driver. Butch Poland, the Bull Hauler. Ken Veney, fan favorite.
Kinda.
Notoriety.
Kind of well known.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is
He could go drag racing and later today.
he's never retired to unretire. He just
No.
never retires.
Never does.
Right? Funny little farmer, but he's going to hook at 15th tonight. Grant Theobald comes in the Little Wicked in 16th. Tony Arndt in Slingshot. And then coming up 18th is Adam Kester's other tractor, Wadsville, Indiana, Footloose. Then Andy Langford in the Bear Claw. Then Grayson Shelton cutting up. And I think the Sheltons they've got a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, and they got some pro stocks to in the
Cutting
next
up actually
class.
is a scratch.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Copy that.
All right, great. Round us out with the pro stocks, and let's wrap
Last
up our
but
show.
not least, we've got Brent Meyer starting out with Loud and Heavy.
Defending champ.
Yeah, then Colin Ross will get on the Bootlegger. James Ray will pull Mac Daddy. Tim Kane on the Red Gambler. Grayson Shelton with Cutting Down. Chance McGrath out of Canada, Last Chance number 2. Brent Meyer, Injected Funds, our defending Grand National Champion. Jack Mays with the Billet Binder. Mike Connie on Mac Nasty. RJ Simon, Loud and Heavy X. Grayson Shelton on the Cutting Edge Pro. Braden Schrammick on Youngblood. And then that's it. The others were scratches.
Okay. So we're going to do this 90 minutes before every show. We'll be back in tomorrow night at 5:30 Eastern, right here on Facebook, YouTube, and Full Pull Live. Don't forget the live stream is free tonight. You can't miss out. A free live stream of NTPA Grand National. Pulling Bert, it's going to be excited. Bert will be our trackside announcer. Phil and I in the trailer. Mr. Randall, Executive Director of NTPA, thank you for everything.
Thank you, Jason.
We're excited to kick off the 2024 season. Oh, here comes a New Holland.
Here comes the test hook. This is where they set the track, set the distances, make sure the sled's all functioning properly. You're watching it live right here.
Yeah.
Test track. So thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to be here every Wednesday at 6:30 Central for a weigh-in before every Grand National Hook. We're going to give you the lineups. And, of course, we're going to do our countdown to pull times 90 minutes before every event. So we will see you on FullPull.live in 1 hour.